Welcome back to our weekly newsletter on the economy, where we bring you the latest updates on business and economic trends. Today, I will take you on a journey through this week's newsletter. To receive our weekly newsletter and stay informed on the latest economic developments, simply follow our website in the description below. Let's get started. The European Union's investment in research and development surged in 2022, reaching a staggering 352 billion euros. This marks a significant increase of 6.34% from the previous year and a whopping 48.52% growth since 2012. However, the R&D intensity as a percentage of GDP experienced a slight decrease from 2.27% in 2021 to 2% in 2022. And next, the European solar industry is calling upon policymakers to avoid tariffs on imported solar products with a goal of deploying 6 gigawatts by 2030. The industry seeks to accelerate solar deployment while nurturing domestic production and emphasizing non-price criteria and public support to bolster European manufacturing. Turning to the November manufacturing ICM report, the sector faced its 13th consecutive month of contraction. New orders, production, and employment declined, indicating ongoing challenges. While certain industries showed growth, the overall trend highlights the sustained contraction within the manufacturing sector. Now in Turkey, the consumer price index surged by 61.98% annually and 3.28% monthly, reflecting significant inflationary pressures. Shifting focus, the European Central Bank's research on artificial intelligence impact suggests a threat to wages rather than jobs. While AI adoption may create employment opportunities, concerns persist about potential earnings impacts and societal equality as this technology evolves. A concerning surge in global support for fossil fuels, reaching $1.48 trillion in 2022, was reported by the OECD and IEA due to energy price pressures. This surge prompts a closer look at fiscal costs and the necessity for targeted support measures amid the challenges of transitioning away from fossil fuels. Looking at the UK manufacturing sector, November showed a potential turnaround as the PMI rose to 47.2. However, the industry continued to contract, with production and job losses persisting, reflecting caution and cost control measures amidst market uncertainty. Now going to Belgium. So an 8% annual increase in hourly labor costs in this third quarter, with variations across sectors from 11.3% in accommodation and food services to 4.6% in electricity and gas supply. Climate change economics takes center stage as NGFS data unveiled at COP27 suggests a potential 7% boost in global GDP, with a smooth transition to net zero by 2050. However, this transition could affect demand and employment. NGFS emphasizes green investments to manage climate risks while aligning with the Paris Agreement goals. Spain's industrial production faced a sharper decline in October, primarily attributed to a substantial drop in energy output. The adjusted year-on-year decline stood at 1.5%, accentuating the 1.2% fall seen in September. The International Energy Agency highlights Denmark's strides in renewable energy, especially in wind and biomethane sectors. While leading in wind electricity, Denmark aims for a 70% emissions reduction by 2030. The IEA recommends robust policies focusing on green tax reform, transport decarbonization, and energy efficiency to bolster these efforts. And now Turkey unveils ambitious plans to double its renewable energy capacity to 190 gigawatts by 2035. Accompanied by a substantial $10 billion grid investment. Collaborating with the World Bank, the country emphasizes infrastructure enhancement, private investment, and emissions reduction in this significant energy transition. The producer price index in Turkey again surged dramatically in November with a staggering annual increase of 42.25% and a monthly rise of 2.81%, signaling significant inflationary pressures. Now going to China, the Caixin PMI data points towards a slight economic uptick, indicating growth in output and new orders. However, the modest recovery remains restrained, leading to labor cuts and a stagnant inflation trend, and confidence about future prospects, particularly in manufacturing, remains cautious. The October European Central Bank Consumer Expectations Survey unveils stable inflation at 4% over 12 months, with nominal income growth at 1.1%. However, the economic outlook slightly dipped to minus 1.3%, coupled with decreased home price expectations at 2%. And going outwards, Latvia witnessed a substantial surge in average wages during the third quarter, reaching €1,549 for full-time work, according to unadjusted data reported by the Central Statistical Bureau. Luxembourg experienced a further decline in its inflation rate, dropping from 3.2% to 3% in November. This change is attributed to decreased petroleum products prices and reduced travel expenses, as indicated by the National Consumer Price Index, calculated by the Statistical Office. And now job cuts surged in the US during November. There was an increase of 24% from the previous month. However, these figures mark a substantial drop from 2022, reflecting a declining trend despite this year's surge. Various industries witnessed significant job reductions impacting hiring plans, especially in media and news sector. Croatia's industrial production witnessed a year-on-year increase of 1% in September. However, based on adjusted data, there was a 1.4% month-on-month decrease in October compared to September. And now going to the South Korea, its online shopping transactions soared by 11.8% in October, reaching 2,900 trillion won with mobile shopping. And there was an impressive rise, about 10%. Serbia's non-financial business economy experienced a notable 1.2% rise in operating income in the third quarter compared to the previous year. However, operating costs saw a 1.4% drop annually, but increased by 3% from the previous quarter. The information and communication sector displayed noteworthy growth. Industrial employment in North Macedonia reached a 102.9 index in October, reflecting a robust 3.5% surge in manufacturing. Now going to Euro area and EU for GDP trends in the third quarter. There was a minor contraction of 0.1% in the Euro area GDP, while the EU remained stable. Employment saw a modest growth of 0.2% in both regions. Malta led the surge in employment, contracting declines witnessed in Estonia and Ireland. However, there was a slight decrease of 1.2% in labor productivity based on persons and hours worked in the Euro area compared to the previous year. Moving on to the OECD revenue statistics of 2023, the report highlighted a 0.15% drop in the average tax to GDP ratio. Energy-driven tax cuts played a pivotal role, with excise and value-added taxes decreasing in many countries. Interestingly, corporate income tax revenues surged, especially in energy and agricultural sectors. However, tax revenues fell in 21 out of 36 countries, notably with Denmark experiencing the largest decline. And now Hungary's agriculture sector showcased impressive growth in 2023. Despite a 15% price decrease, there was a remarkable 6.5% surge in output value, surpassing 4.3 thousand billion forints. This growth was primarily propelled by a substantial 25% rise in production volume. Notably, wild crop production witnessed a 44% surge. Livestock observed a marginal 0.5% decrease. And now lastly, in November, Kazakhstan witnessed a 4.8% year-on-year increase in producer prices, marking a slowdown from the previous month's 5.5% climb. Notably, manufacturing costs saw a drop while utilities inflation slowed down. That wraps up our economy newsletter for today. We covered a wide range of topics. Stay informed and tuned in for more economic news in our upcoming episodes. Thank you for watching and remember to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates.